like a Mario character. Whoop. Sound like in Mario when you're like in a water level and you have to get an air bubble. He's like, whoop.
Whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We're both like, hold up.
Proof in Korean. That's the thing that they have in their name.
He gets out of his normal voice and he's like, hey.
He's like, wow. So if a crow tit, who is basically somebody who's poor, follows a stork, somebody who's rich, they split their legs. Dude, the crow tit never has a chance. And they were born into it. And there's not a god thing they can do about it.
What up, Army? We are
Hi-oh.
back. We are back.
We are clocked in.
With another BTS education video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our friend Sherbert, I love that name so much.
Yeah.
Over on Patreon requested this track. And yeah, we're going to check it out. I say track, but it's not a track.
It's like a mini documentary.
More than K-pop. Yep. It's a long one. So stick with us.
The beast.
We're going to learn about K-pop, but what's beyond K-pop and why K-pop matters, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right in here. This is BTS, More Than K-pop. Hope you enjoy. Let's do it.
Baby Gang magazine.
Oh,
if you want to learn about
Baby
BTS,
Gang.
you should know about these 3 songs.
Baby Gang.
South Koreans are voting for their next president.
We start from the beginning. BTS's pre-debut story, as many know, involved quite a bit of experimentation and reinvention. As trainees in Bang Si-hyuk's company Big Hit Entertainment, now HYBE Corporation, the concept of BTS was based on presenting a combination of hip-hop and Korean idol music, or K-pop music, something groups like BAP and Big Bang had popularized to some extent before them.
Big Bang.
However, key differences were established in terms of BTS's messaging early on. Here's a quote from BTS's main producer P-Dog in 2013.
P-Dog.
P-Dog?
My name's just P-Dog.
Dog. P-Dog.
P-Dog. Main producer.
Hell yeah.
Korean mainstream hip-hop is more about doing love stories through rap or having YG Entertainment's style of swagger. You really need to have a lot of money or something to boast about to do that. Our boys did not have that. Kim suggested that the members
No, what?
They're like, they
don't have any money.
Yeah, they weren't cool.
What's really cool is like from the beginning, they weren't famous right away, right? Obviously. But what they would do to get people to go to their concert is they would do the old school thing. They'd hand papers out to people on the street.
Like flyers.
Flyers.
It's very like 90s grunge.
Yeah, that's where they started. It's really cool.
participate because
That is old
hip-hop is
school.
about telling their own stories. We had many meetings with the members, from the theme of the lyrics down to everything. We would talk about the kind of music they wanted to do. The group's first member and leader, rapper RM, not only had a thirst for learning more about hip-hop,
How
but he
young he
actively
is,
pushed
dude.
other members of the group to listen to records he found important. As evidenced by BTS's later records like Hip Hop File, RM's influences ranged from the socially conscious lyricism of Black Star to the party-minded gangster rap of Snoop Dogg. Records like these set the table for BTS's early aesthetic and thematic approaches, allowing BTS to not only come up with their own themes that they wished to impart in their music, but to do
Okay, I was just reading that top. Paldongong-san Saturi rap was because they started on 3 rappers. So it's like they were supposed to be a rap group, and then they formed into what they are now.
Yep, I remember that.
so through the lens of hip-hop, empowered them to do social and political commentary that felt relevant for youth in Korea. As
Good.
Myung-sun's song posits in her 2019 book Hanguk Hip Hop, Global Rap in South Korea, quote, speaking on social themes is rare in K-pop where many songs concentrate on love. For BTS, they were able to show their authenticity by speaking about the realities that their peers were going through, end quote. No More Dream is the natural harmonization of BTS's interests in various hip-hop styles and their desire to speak for a generation. In an industry wherein debut tracks are crucial to a group's success and teasers for a career to come, the song directly rejects ideologies that have long driven K-pop and arguably Korean society.
That's cool.
That of simply working hard and pursuing a dream being all one needs to navigate a clearly unjust world. Let's compare it to the legendary Girls' Generation's debut record, Into the New World, for better insight on how BTS's mentality felt so radical. As Girls' Generation, known as
Girls'
Sonya or SNSD, was meant to represent a new era of female empowerment within neoliberal Korean society, their debut release works as a vow one makes to themselves to pursue their dreams fully within a brave new world. In the video, each member is pictured in different career and hobby settings, showcasing individuality and application of effort towards a goal. A foreboding love song, the
That's really
lyrics
cool.
written by Kenzie are
So Girls' Generation?
Yeah, is that another?
I got to write that down.
Yeah, that must be another group. Write that down. Write that down.
Girls' Generation. Look it up afterwards.
Google.
See what we got.
borrowed yet hopeful. There's a rough road in front of us. With unknowable future and obstacles, I won't change. I can't give up. This was the debut of a group in Girls' Generation that would become highly influential in Korean global and domestic politics through
can
their
dance like that.
popularity.
Wait, so. Sorry, I was just like. I was actually listening to the lyrics.
Oh, I was
you
trying
were
to
dancing.
picture myself how to dance like that without tooting or something.
He had mentioned something about like Girls' Generation. I think that's an overarching thing because he just said a group from Girls' Generation.
Oh, is that like a
That
time
might be like-
period? Like a
Yeah, maybe.
so like that the group isn't called Girls' Generation.
I
Like
don't
the
think
time
so.
period is. Oh sure.
A group in Girls' Generation. So maybe
Oh.
it is, maybe it's not. I don't know.
Would
Yeah.
become highly influential in Korean global and domestic politics through their popularity and coolness. They
It's
more
a
than
cancer.
met beauty standards, talent standards, and affability standards. Through their apparent ease with which they handled these standards and other difficulties as idolized mega stars, they helped reaffirm a sense of acceptance of societal challenges as hurdles to overcome, rather than signifiers of a broken system.
This gentleman is well spoken.
Yeah, he is.
I was just like, look at all these big words. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you're smarter than me. I don't know half these words. You're 10 times smarter than me.
I wonder if he like typed it into like Google. Like, how can
Like-
hey Google, can you like rewrite this?
Gang gang, or whatever
Yeah.
he said his name was. Baby gang.
That
Baby
we
gang.
should try to fix. And from factory girls to idol girls, Professor Gu-young Kim posits, on top of common ingredients of female success in patriarchal society like being obedient, SNSD's music videos
SNSD.
mandate women nowadays have to be resilient under an
SNSD.
ever
SNSD. Does it
So,
say, like down
SNSD.
Girl, yeah.
I'm gonna look this up right now, real time.
Guys, we have a mid-video Google.
SNSD Girls' Generation.
Oh, yeah.
Group.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
it's called
Okay,
Girls'
okay.
Generation.
It is called Girls' Generation.
So what's SNSD? Oh my
is that
god.
the recording company?
SM Entertainment.
It is. Oh no.
Girls Center, also known as SNSD. So that's just
So it's
another
kind of like
name.
BTS / and like whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Bangtan.
A South Korean girl group formed by SM.
SM Entertainment. Okay.
2014, about the same around the time that BTS kind of
Interesting.
popped up.
Cool. SNSD.
precarious and
Girls'
exploitative neoliberal service economy. As a capitalist biopolitics that produces neoliberal female subjects who are
Whoa.
self-reliant, effective, and responsible for their
That's
own
cool,
lives,
nice.
SNSD music videos help update traditional patriarchal gender norms and expectations in the neoliberal culture
Mario
industry. Just got. Of course, this type of advocating for
What?
When you do that sound, you sound like in Mario when you're like in a water level and you have to get
Oh.
an air bubble. He's like,
resiliency
Sorry.
and optimism can provide its own form of healing and strengthening for audiences, regardless of gender and politics. It's no wonder Into the New World has become a new age protest anthem for some.
Into the
Of
new
note,
world.
the glorification
one
of
of their
working
albums.
hard
Yeah.
and making it through, and being the ideal person, especially given the troubles the country experienced with the global recession, was very much the message neoliberal South Korea needed to maintain. That was the
Wow.
power of SNSD.
political,
This is
man.
why
Damn.
6
they use
years
this like a very political.
Very much so.
I
It's
wonder
like a
if, like,
statement.
Yeah, I wonder if like K-pop is kind of. I mean, American music is right. Like Green Day writes political songs, for
Yeah.
example, right?
Green Day's like,
Maybe
F
this
you.
is just, K-pop has that kind of
It's
theme
that same
too.
mentality. yeah.
Sure, yeah.
At least we know for sure this group. did.
Yeah. It
This
seems
was
like
like-
they're like
They were formed
really
for that kind of thing.
making music to match the times that they're in. And
Yeah.
After SNSD debut, BTS's debut record is So Disruptive,
So young.
where Into the New World is a highly traditional K-pop anthem full of hope and aptitude. No More Dream is an ode to rap music, with traditions and cultures miles away from Korean standards, and
Okay,
a
we need to
message
watch
of
that.
relinquishing hope. It starts with RM and Suga telling you your dreams are silly, and Jungkook groaning at his mother for nagging about his studies. The line Jungkook says, "Okay, mom, I told you I'm on the way to the
독서실.
now," is included.
What? Duk sushi.
So is he kind of getting at like, so this girl's generation at the time was so influential in the K-pop world that they sang about like hope, love, whatever he said. And then he's leading into like BTS came out of nowhere
Yeah.
and just like blew the K-pop world off of its brackets.
Right. I mean, because they did something totally different.
And so they say the same thing about like Led Zeppelin back in like the late 60s, early 70s. Led Zeppelin came out of nowhere and just blew everything off the bracket because they did something different. They were louder. They were more like, they were just crash. It was, at the time, it was like, what the is this?
Yeah.
And I wonder if they went through the same thing. BTS came out and they're like, this isn't K-pop. This is just rap. But like, you know, BTS must have changed the game.
Yeah. I mean, and then they exploded, and then
Yeah.
K-pop exploded, and everything
'Cause-
exploded.
Because it was different.
Yeah.
And people love different.
And there's so many K-pop bands now.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
over
Yeah.
on my solo channel, I'm diving into all sorts of
Yeah.
random
yeah.
K-pop bands.
I'm sure. It's just like modern rock bands here.
Yeah.
There's like 1,000 of them. like,
Amazing.
everywhere you go. Yeah.
Included in the fan chant, so everyone screams it aloud. The opening bass line is a very clear shout, it seems, towards Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's classic Deep Cover. The drum track, with its patterns and sound, resembles that of contemporary rap hits for the time,
Wow.
like Meek
Wow.
Mill's I'm a Boss and Big Sean's Ass. And the choral refrain of
Big Sean. That's just the way he said that, dude.
And Big Sean's
Big Sean's
ass.
Oh, gotta love Big Sean's arse.
Gotta love that arse, man.
Nick,
Oh,
Kwame
wow.
Money, Nick, Kwame Money, Monet is a clever reimagining of the old school hip hop chant, make money, money, make money, money, money.
Oh, I love
This
that.
is how BTS chose to kick off their career.
Oh,
Rather than
a
gently
mask.
reaffirming the common ideas of
Bane?
resiliency
Bane's
that
cousin.
keep neoliberal society's gears turning, the group chose to express themselves as cultured, disdainful youths who wonder boldly if hard work and study really are worth it after all. To be clear, this
Wow.
That's like us in like junior year of high school.
It's like, yeah, 100%. 100%.
was unprecedented. While tracks like BAP's Warrior, released a year prior, carried similar rebellious energy and hip-hop influence, the lyrics are more pointed
Dang.
at general subjects of disdain and repression. BTS went as far as to call out the infamous Korean schooling system by its name and enumerate specific feelings of fear and loathing from young people.
Dude, BTS and
Dude, I don't
we're
think,
like
yeah.
relating to them pretty closely.
Dude,
Holy
Is it
crap.
like education and like, never mind. I don't know what's going with that.
You good, bro?
Yeah.
You're
It's
too busy looking at,
it's
whatever's
Tuesday.
happening on that page there.
yeah.
It's
Bang subs
Mortal
10.
Kombat.
Yeah.
Bongtong.
People in the country.
Oh.
That was risky, ballsy, and impressive.
Whoa.
Ballsy.
And it was not what K-pop was supposed to be. That was the beginning of Bangtan.
There you go.
Bongtan.
They started
Bangtan
their
is
own
bulletproof in Korean.
branch.
That's the thing that they have in their name.
He gets out of his normal voice and he's like, hey.
He's like, fourth wall.
It's
He's like,
bulletproof.
by the way, guys, footnote.
giving testimony in a trial against
2014.
2015.
If you liked the socio-political,
That's why this is
youth-minded
going
rebellion of No More Dream, wait till you hear about Bepse, also known as Silver Spoon. In Bepse, a popular B-side from the acclaimed Hwayeonyeonghwa series, the Tannies, that's another nickname for BTS, the Tannies examine class sentiments
That's awesome.
and neoliberal agendas in South Korea, which place blame upon young Koreans for their misfortunes. To
Damn.
understand Bepse, you must first be aware of two different concepts. The first is spoon class theory, a type of theoretical framework.
Yeah.
Hold up. There's a
No
spoon
relation
theory?
to okay.
Okay, I'm going to get rid of the subtitles for this because I want to see what this is.
2 billion of net worth or an annual income of 200 million. Silver spoon.
So
1 million.
rich people.
The 1%.
Yeah.
Silver Spoon, 1 million of net worth or an annual 80 million.
That's a huge jump, dude. 280? Copper Spoon, 500 million, 55 million annual, less than 50. So I'm like Dirt Spoon.
Yeah, I'm also Dirt Spoon.
Spoon class theory. Interesting.
I'm like that spoon. You know, you get like those like cheap necklaces that turn your neck green. That's me. I'm the spoon that turns your cereal
You
green.
should stop spooning Smurfs there, bro.
Yeah.
You're turning colors.
This is interesting.
It's cool.
Main work
Yeah.
surrounding class struggle that gained popularity in South Korea in 2015. In a text from the Journal of Asian Studies called Spoon Theory and the Fall of a Populist Princess in Seoul, much is written of spoon theory and Park Geun-hye, who will become relevant again later in this essay.
Sorry. I'm writing down spoon theory because like I want to look that up later.
Learn it, man. Learn
What they say in South
Wealth
Korea?
inequality
Yeah.
has soared, as it has around the world, and younger Koreans are struggling to comprehend life without chances for advancement. These problems have been framed recently in terms of spoon theory, or
수저론,
a term derived from the
수저론.
English idiom about being born with a silver spoon, and used to classify people according to their inherited privilege.
Yeah.
This term, which is a local response to the global problem of rising wealth inequality, channels anger about inherited wealth and the failure of the political system to rectify it.
Are we
And they're saying this shit in 2015.
watching Ren again?
Yeah, dude, right. It's like Money Game Part 8.
Yeah, part 8.
Jeez.
Until now I didn't realize how much we related to BTS.
Yeah.
Just from hearing this, I'm like,
And how they view the world is how
this is
we
like
view
our
the world.
beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's kind of
Like-
crazy how close it is. This was 2015,
Yeah, well, she said this in 2017,
2017.
but
Okay.
earlier they flashed the year, and they're apparently we're in 2015.
The second thing you must understand is what bepse means, which would be crow-tit, a type of bird we know as a
Ooh.
vinous-throated parrotbill.
There's an idiom.
Zabuma food.
Dude, this guy's video is wild.
I actually really appreciate.
I
this
do. I
video.
appreciate his like research too. Okay.
Colloquially known as crow-tit, and this was actually on our.
Yeah.
All that is
Oh,
what we're
yeah.
learning.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's why I did this first. So, vinous-throated parrotbill, or the crow-tit.
Vinous-throated parrotbill.
The white burb here is actually a long-tail tit, not what's colloquially known as crow tit.
Or bepse.
Okay.
Okay. You can stop editing army bombs on it now.
There's an idiom. 뱁새가 황새 따라가다 가랑이가 찢어진다. Meaning, if a crow-tit or parrotbill tries to follow a stork, it'll split its legs. It
Oh,
teaches
shit.
how you should tailor your ambitions to the measure of your abilities or the resources given to you. BTS often call themselves as 뱁새, or crow-tits, meaning underdogs, those who started with disadvantages,
Oh.
the powerless in the society, and so on. They nonetheless refuse to frame themselves within the limit of crow-tits. They rather challenge the
Yeah, we
norm
just watched
and
that
gladly split their legs. Though it's painful and takes a whole lot more efforts, they do succeed in walking along, or even past storks.
Wow.
황새,
Wow.
or storks
deep.
in this context, means those who are born with advantages. The contrast highlights the severe socioeconomic inequality in Korea. The English title of this
Wow. So if a crow tit who is basically somebody who's poor follows a stork, somebody who's rich, they split their legs.
And then they.
So the crow tit never has a chance,
Wow.
and they were born into it, and there's not a god thing they can do about it. Wow.
That's big.
Wow. Dude, newfound respect for BTS. Oh my lord. I didn't know it went this deep. This is like
That's why we're doing this.
this is like diamond level Minecraft deep.
We're doing deep dives right now.
song is Silver Spoon, which is synonymous with inherited wealth. So the Korean title, 뱁새 or crow-tit,
뱁새?
and the English title, Silver Spoon, actually mean the opposite to each other. They might have decided to title it Silver Spoon in English to emphasize that this song is about socioeconomic inequality and injustice.
Makes sense.
It is true that bepse is an aggressive pop rap anthem. It's shouty and angsty and fun. But such descriptions, though commonplace in
This is what
K-pop
we're gonna
music
watch,
writing,
actually.
undersell the meaning behind musical choices. When V and Jimin sing no noryok, they do so with exasperated voices. How does the word noryok,
I was like,
meaning
he said the wrong person there.
Yeah.
He was like Jimin. I was like, that's not Jimin, bro.
striving, making an effort to accomplish something, fit here? How is it affected when the first syllable, no, is repeated? For one, it's a reference to young people's dismissiveness of the idea of 노력. The gag is you elongate the no in 노력 to express just how hard you must try, according to your elders who are completely out of touch with how much effort you're putting into your life and how little it can matter when your luck is down.
여러분들의 노력이 좀 부족했던 건 아닐까요? 요즘 애들은 노력이 부족해. 노력을 보여주고 노력을 하면 안 되는 게 없어.
노력.
And maybe it's also a bilingual bit of wordplay, and the no 노력 is more than just a stutter. It's a statement. No 노력. That's just my theory.
At stake two key issues: the Conservative government's attempts to
This
reform
one-liners,
labour
bro.
laws and its drive to produce its own history textbook
I follow
for use by
the Zelda
all
guy. I follow Zelda YouTuber that
Yeah.
does his videos like that. It cracks me up. It's such good comedic timing.
Two key issues: the conservative government.
reform labour laws and its drive to produce its own history textbook for use by all children in the country. But polls suggest a majority of South Koreans oppose the plan. Its leading critics say it's designed to enhance the image of Park's father,
Yeah.
who led an authoritarian regime in the 1960s and 70s. President Park Geun-hye says South Korea's left has all but monopolized history teaching in schools, failing to inspire national pride and unity.
Without the
Tug of
knowledge
war.
about his country's own history, then one becomes a soulless human. If one doesn't properly learn history, his soul can't become anything but abnormal.
Dang, bro.
True.
Am I Wrong is perhaps the most overtly political BTS song to date. According to Minju Cha in her treatise Philosophizing About BTS,
Am I Wrong is a song that criticizes a warped society and a warning to those selfish people who take no interest in politics.
this is where the story of Park Geun-hye becomes relevant and where the class-based messaging of Pepse becomes even more politically charged. Park is the daughter of influential dictator President Park Chung-hee, whose economic policies helped build modern South Korea, but whose overall policies and conduct were highly authoritarian. Eventually, he was ousted and
Earlier when I said it's true about the thing she said, the history thing, I want to let you guys know I don't like support that, but I do think that why I said that. I want to say this because I didn't want to get shredded.
Yeah.
Learning history is very important.
Yes.
Extremely important. That's all I wanted to say because like it's important.
assassinated. Park
Oh my
Geun-hye's
God.
reign
Oh,
was
shit.
similarly faded.
Jeez.
She wasn't assassinated, but a fairly popular
Bro, why'd you recommend this
Dude.
video? What the?
What is this dude? This guy's like same fate. I mean, she didn't get shot, but she lost the election. I'm like, oh,
He really just led into it, didn't he?
God, dude.
His reign
All right.
was similarly faded. She wasn't assassinated, but a fairly popular conservative populist at the beginning of her tenure, Park became aggressively rejected by the Korean people after a
Wow.
number of scandals. The first and most devastating was the Seoul ferry disaster of 2014, which claimed hundreds of lives, including
Dude,
250
I remember
high-
this.
Do you remember that?
This was my senior year of high school. I remember this, dude. I watched
You
this
know history, man.
on the news, and I thought to myself, like, well, yeah, obviously, like, damn.
Yeah,
right?
like what the heck?
But dude, I remember this breaking news. Yeah, I got it on my phone.
high school students. Not only did Geun-hye's
Yeah.
government take little to no responsibility for the numerous failures leading to the disaster, the president's reaction was optically horrible, showing a lack of communication and a desire to downplay the incident. A report referred to it as just
like a
a
leader we
ferry
know.
accident and showed no intention to investigate the case or support the victims,
Damn.
only intention to suppress protest.
I'd
You may know that
I'd burn down
BTS released
South
a
Korea
song
too,
in
then.
2017 called
burn it
Spring
down too.
Day, sporting a music video referring to this incident, and that BTS had privately
That's
supported
messed
families of disaster victims in 2014. This was despite being a group relatively low on resources at the time and risking retribution from the South Korean government intent on burying the tragedy. Infamously, Park Geun-hye's administration held a blacklist of nearly 10,000 names of artists who were critical of her government's handling of the situation.
So she is not a good person.
dude,
What the heck?
sounds like a leader we know.
Yeah.
Making a list of all the enemies who oppose them.
Yeah. Oh God. Jeez. A little too close to home there.
Or generally opposed her. This blacklist meant exclusion from state funding and cultural exchange programs.
Okay. That's way too real, bro. What? It's literally happening right now.
And half the country voted for this.
Oh my God, what?
It devastated the Busan International Film Festival's resources as a result. Among other names on the list was future Oscar winner Bong Joon-ho, director of
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yeah. He also made he just made another recent movie. Was it
Parasite was so fire.
Real quick, I went and saw Sinners.
Yeah.
With Michael B. Jordan. See it. Good.
Yeah.
Good guys. Michael B. Jordan, 10 out of 10. Go on.
So
Parasite guy. Coincidentally noted supporter of BTS.
Oh, that's cool.
제가 뭐 비록 지금 골든글러브에 와 있긴 하지만 뭐 BTS가 누리는 그 파워와 힘은 저의 한 3,000배는 넘는 거니까요. 그런 뭐 멋진 아티스트들이 많이 나올 수밖에 없는 나라인 것 같아요. 한국이 되게 감정적으로 격렬하고 다이나믹한 나라거든요.
I like
the
that.
K-pop.
I like that.
One thing I've noticed is a lot of the K-pop, especially the ones that I've been watching, is just like he discussed emotionally intelligent. Is that what he said?
Emotionally
dynamic.
Dynamic.
And that basically speaks true in all of the songs, but they're okay with being vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's why I like K-pop so much.
Yeah. And you know, I want to I'm being humbled right now because I used to think K-pop was about love and
yeah.
But I am getting a whole new perspective on K-pop after watching this. So I'm humbling myself right now. I'm calling myself out. I'm in this video, dude. This is fascinating. This is societal stuff that we go through.
Every single day.
되게 감정적으로 격렬하고 다이나믹한 나라거든요.
The K-pop idol industry notoriously relies heavily on government support, thus making political rebellion all but disastrous for idols, who are almost always accommodating to national diplomatic interests. This is not to say K-pop is a major revenue generator for the nation, especially when compared to South Korea's
But it is.
I think K-pop
I mean, let's be honest.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
So, as you guys know, probably K-pop is copyrighted all over the place.
Sure.
All of that money is going to
the government,
and it's millions of views every single day.
That's really interesting though, because how South Korea K-pop worth in general context of exports. This brings into context Taylor Swift's Eras tour.
Oh.
She Alyssa, my wife, found this I don't know what she found, but everywhere Taylor Swift stopped,
it was booming.
Millions of people would flock. Restaurants, shopping, hotels.
Football.
She's booming the economy everywhere she went. And that's the same thing in BTS.
Right. I mean, everywhere BTS goes, it's boom.
It sells out. People travel. People buy plane tickets, train tickets, food, hotels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wild. It's it's something that you don't consider, but it's a thing. Live entertainment. You got to get people to spend the money. That's why they have so many sports.
Export focus on technology, but presidents through the past 10 years have especially exalted K-pop as a new, potent form of soft power. From John Lee's K-pop popular music,
I don't understand.
cultural amnesia, and economic innovation in South Korea. The conservative Lee Myung-bak regime, without desisting from its orgy of censorship, couldn't muster enough encomia when it came to K-pop. President Lee addressed the nation by radio after a trip to Turkey, gushing that K-pop was loved by young Turkish people, and citing such South Korean stars as the K-pop group JYJ as a major asset to the future of South Korea.
So they can make money off of it.
Yep.
This would explain why South Korea's budget for promoting the industry reached $300 million in 2013 alone.
Wow.
Thus, BTS writing Am I Wrong and releasing it in 2016, even performing it with cheeky choreography on television, national television, is a key moment in understanding just how unique their legacy will be in K-pop. Am I Wrong came out at a time wherein Park Geun-hye's administration was as hated as ever in Korea, thanks to the ongoing scandal that would eventually lead to her impeachment. Park's close confidant, was treated as a close aide despite not being part of Park's cabinet. Choi's father was a cult leader who had become close to Park and her family after the death
Tracks.
of Park's mother,
Totally
First Lady
tracks.
Yok Yong-soo, and his
Yeah, that
influence
sounds like
led Choi
politics.
to not only become quite wealthy through this connection, but also led Choi and Park to have a close connection. Park would give all types of
Human
inappropriate
beings.
access to Choi, scheduling, personnel,
Text.
classified info on.
Dude, it's like it's all
History
just
repeats
repeating
itself.
itself. Did we just say the same thing at the same time?
We did not. I thought it was that was so perfect. I thought it was echo. I thought it was playback of my own voice.
No, that was me, dude. Oh wow. History is repeating itself. Wow.
This video's got me feeling all kinds of things, man.
Meetings with North Korea, as one does, and Choi would advise Park on almost all of her decisions. As protests raged on in South Korea, BTS released Am I Wrong as an apparent form of protest song. The
Hell
world's
yeah.
going
Use your
crazy.
platform.
How about you? You think it is okay? I don't think it's quite right. One of the song's most enduring and specific lines comes from Suga, who refers to a specific comment made by one of Park's government officials which caused great controversy. We are all dogs and pigs. We get angry and become dogs. As written by the LA Times, Na Hyung-wook put his foot in his mouth while he was out for drinks, saying among other things that 99% of South Koreans have no ability to move up in the world and can be treated like animals, simply fed and kept alive. The remarks were initially reported over the weekend by the Kyunghang Shinmun, a left-of-center daily newspaper. This, alongside the Chung Yura scandal, wherein Chung, daughter of Choi, was reported publicly by a classmate to be receiving special treatment, being graded highly despite never attending class or submitting assignments at
Get out of here.
university,
Dude, that student-
showcase how deeply
That student who had the courage to fucking speak out against a daughter of a high official like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
That's got to take
That's
a lot of
scary.
balls.
Can you, I'm sure, there's some bodies buried in a river somewhere with
Yeah.
this, with these kinds of connections, What
the
a
South Korean
what a
education
crazy call.
system is in bed with government corruption.
Wow.
Chung's scandal seemed to be the catalyst for the Choi scandal that took down Park Geun-hye. According to Hyejin Kim,
Chung represented illicit advancement through privilege. She even flaunted her privilege. On Facebook, she had written, "Blame your own parents if you don't have ability. Money is also capability. This is an odd statement in a
Wow.
capitalist society.
What?
The implication is that success need not come from hard work, dedication, talent, or being useful to others. Rather, inherited privilege is as justified as any individual merit for helping someone advance."
Screw you.
The statement sounds more like aristocratic arrogance or sarcastic critique of the contemporary social organization. Even then, the birthright claim in this case is based not on any natural social order. Chung's mother had helped her by directing state
People are
officials
sick,
to violate
dude.
their
Yeah, they are.
duties and by using her links to Puck to extract funds from conglomerates. This could scarcely be portrayed as an ideal of motherhood. Chung's bizarre logic, although, was not new. In the preceding year, similar claims about privilege had circulated in the media. In late 2015, the phrase gold spoon lit up the Korean language internet.
Here comes
The
the
term was a
spoon.
local twist on the English idiom. Opinion makers first attached the term to an inexperienced actress whose famous father had presumably landed her a series of big roles. The entertainment field presented ample material for pondering the benefits of having influential parents. Those who had gained help from their parents.
Didn't we have something like that in Hollywood happen?
Probably.
Like, it was just like a recent within the last 5 years.
Wait, Lori Loughlin
Yes. And she like paid off her
to get her daughter into
Daughter to-
UCLA.
Yeah.
She did federal time for that.
Yeah, she did.
Good.
Parents defended their positions, claiming that it was more difficult to succeed when others knew their background. As the brother of the actress first labeled a gold spoon wrote, "We know we are gold spoons, but do we have to live quietly because we are gold spoons? Can't she, the sister, pursue her goals even though she was born as a gold spoon?"
I mean, yeah. I mean, think of it this way, dude.
with this,
There's probably people born into this privileged gold spoon life that don't like it.
Right.
Or they like understand and they see it. Because you have those people who don't like, money is also capability.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have people too who are like, this class is like, I know that I'm, like for example, like controversial here, but like we see it as white males.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we are white males. We were sorry we're born, like, well, no, but like we're born, but like we understand, we see it.
Right.
We see, we may not
Privilege.
feel it, But we understand the privilege.
Yep.
We recognize it, and we know that these societies and our society is literally built for us to fail unless you're born as a golden spoon. So we do what we can to spread the love and help where we can.
And work hard.
Work hard, yeah.
All three of these BTS tracks tackle issues in Korean society that are deeply interwoven with political corruption during a time where these issues converged to cause one of the most notorious, explosive political scandals in recent Asian history.
Oh, wow.
Each record is clear in its political effects, but focuses on the individual and their socialization. How do we as humans react to a crumbling, ineffective system that will betray us at any given moment? The Park Geun-hye administration very literally left students out to die. This is true of their disregard for human lives during the Seoul ferry disaster, including 250 kids. It's true of Park's clear connection to school corruption, allowing her friends' children to enjoy tons of benefits without any effort, whilst millions of working class students struggled to make anything of themselves in an intense, rigged schooling system.
God, it makes
it's
me
no
so
coincidence an education official of such high ranking could have such low regard for the citizens of South Korea. Thus, history allows us to see No More Dream as even more radical than it appeared upon
there's
debut.
a little fire in South Korea, and BTS every year just throws a little gas on it. 2015, couple of
little bit more,
couple of big anarchy songs. 2016. Here's an anarchy album.
Yeah.
I love it. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Jin looking freaking swole.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh my God.
Vampire.
It explicitly called on students to shirk scholastic norms and to define their lives for themselves.
Yeah, break the mold,
rather
man.
than follow the messages Korean neoliberal society teaches you about staying in school. It asks you what your dream is.
Staying in
It doesn't tell you how to
school.
follow the dream you're supposed to have. It used school as a framework, which was not only relevant for their audience's age range, but for the socio-politics behind neoliberal Korea, which imprints youth early on by forcing young people to compete in an unfair rat race and blames them for whatever trouble they may have. Behind this system and this messaging is bureaucratic incompetence and political corruption created by and in service of the rich and connected, also known as the gold spoons.
Dude, I'm
Thus,
getting like, my blood pressure's high, bro.
Yeah, you gotta like calm down, bro.
I'm fired up, dude.
You need to get some ice cold water or something, you know.
I'm good.
Feels like a natural continuation of the ideas of No More Dream, in tandem with conversations
We're
taking
learning a
place
shit
in
ton.
Korean
Yeah,
society. Rather than passively
Not only about
accept
BTS,
older
but about
generations
Korean
and
culture.
well-off figures in their advice to just work harder, BTS say no noryok. They place themselves as the much maligned crow-tit rather than the approved stork. They identify with the underdogs given less to work with and demand listeners to change the rules because the storks only want to maintain. Both records address society's responses to systemic injustice, telling students to ask for better, telling those in power to do better. Rather than passively accept the rough road in front of us as a mere obstacle to overcome, as Kenzie's lyrics suggest in SNSD Into the New World, BTS's lyrics, written and inspired by the minds of the group's members, demand the road to be changed, refusing to accept. These messages are inherently political, and the release of Am I Wrong in 2016 confirms this. Like No More Dream and Bepse, Am I Wrong focuses on the average person's socialization, calling on the listener to be more politically minded and to demand better, as BTS have in their records. It makes specific reference to politicians' comments and to Hell Chosun, a term used to describe the perilous state of Korea in the 2010s. It tells the listener, if you see the news and don't feel anything, if you see that comment and don't feel anything, if that hatred doesn't make you feel anything, you're not normal, but abnormal.
Oh.
The news.
Whoa.
We're
Hold
both
up.
like, hold up.
That was fire. Okay.
So, who said that? Was that? Okay, yeah. Rewind this a little bit.
Is this the Hell Jun?
Okay.
Why do people refer to the country as hell? The answer depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the 2010s. It
Chosun, a term. Okay.
tells the listener, If you see the news and don't
that's
feel
what it's
anything,
telling you, basically.
if you see that comment and don't feel anything, if that hatred doesn't make you feel anything, you're not normal, but abnormal. The news and the comments they are referring to are those of Park Geun-hye's administration and its numerous scandals, and they're referring to it risked their being blacklisted by those in power, which would be a death knell for any other K-pop group. In BTS's case, they only became stronger. They built valuable bonds with their fans because of their commentary and inspired onlookers around the world. Though K-pop is in great part the descendant of Seo and Boys, it, like group member Yang Hyun-suk, has flown far from Taeji Boys' sentiments of political rebellion. In this millennium, K-pop is not supposed to be politically rebellious. K-pop is not supposed to risk being blacklisted by the Korean president. K-pop is not supposed to criticize neoliberalism. BTS has done these things because BTS is not K-pop. BTS is BTS,
is more than K-pop.
An entire universe, and K-pop, its own universe, makes up just one of their many dimensions, not, as most people treat it, a lens through which to understand and judge BTS. Some reject this BTS pop categorization. They say, for one, that BTS are not the only artists in the industry to have made social commentary. This is true. It is a shame, particularly, that Chonghyun and Sully have been labeled more for the manner in which they passed than for the advocacy for social causes they promoted in their time. However, it can hardly be said that either artist's careers, like just about every other idol's careers, were colored by an allowance of artistic socio-political expression from their management. And if you have to go to the 90s...
One thing I'm finding interesting is they're calling them idols. I've never heard of like celebrities in our country be called as idols besides of American Idol.
Yeah.
Is that just a me thing?
Yeah, I don't like for example, I'm a massive Radiohead fan.
Yeah.
But like I wouldn't say Tom York is my idol.
Yeah, I don't like think of Taylor Swift as an idol.
No.
She's just celebrity singer. That's
Yeah.
kind of I just thought that was an interesting little point. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might just be me being weird. But.
No, I agree.
Name
Yeah.
a few songs
I know where
by
you're coming
HOT
from.
and Sechskis to argue this, or name a few songs by groups that have been directly inspired by BTS. You're perhaps proving the opposite point. Either way, the point is not that BTS are unique because nobody else has ever written their own songs or had powerful messages. That is a straw man. BTS are unique because of the many different unique approaches they have taken to art and business from the start of their career, combining to create an entirely different path. As a result, BTS have created their own industry and legacy. Describing K-pop by using BTS as an example is like describing Hollywood through David Lynch. You can technically do it, but you might be misleading people greatly on what Hollywood filmmakers actually do. And in before the artsy kids get upset, no, BTS's music is not comparable to David Lynch films.
Oh my
it's better. Some say separating BTS from K-pop is separating them from their cultural roots. The idol industry in Korea is not some sort of Korean heritage tradition. It has only existed from the late 90s, and specifically as a system of cultural production based in Japanese and Western industries and music stylings. No one in good faith would say BTS are not K-music. They are very obviously Korean because they sing in Korean about Korean issues, not because they're
Thanks for stating the obvious, bro.
I mean,
He's not wrong.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, this guy's so funny.
Things idols do not do constantly, both within and outside of their music. If they were a solo act like IU, they would have been considered a non-idol years ago, like IU. If they did not emerge from the idol industry as Epic High didn't, the same would be true. It is not offensive to consider them something different than what they were sold as in 2013. Practically every artist is given this consideration. K-pop artists, for some reason, are not. Do not take that out on BTS because their fans strive for better. To many, BTS are a global phenomenon, a product of cultural technology, a purveyor of soft power, an owner of parasocial relationships, a music industry enigma, a sign of the times. These are the labels we're accustomed to hearing about this Korean pop group. from scholars, journalists, YouTubers, co-workers, fans of other acts. They're accented with surprise. How is the common question word. How did BTS get there? Yet many of those same people won't research BTS's discography. How can you hope to understand?
And that's why we're doing this, folks.
Dang.
Because so over on what I'm doing on my Patreon is I'm separating BTS as its own tier and K-pop as its own tier.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know anything about, BTS being like its own thing. And I just did that like 2 days ago. And so it's kind of cool to know that like really BTS has its own world. You can dive in and do several things with BTS. And their fandom is insane. And this makes sense. Like ARMY is huge. The numbers from videos on BTS videos and stuff are crazy. And then like we've noticed, we've done some other K-pop groups and the numbers are fine. Like views are fine, but it's not BTS level. And I think that just tells you a little bit more about like they were the ones that kind of branched out and did something crazy.
Yeah.
And people wanted something unique, something different.
Right. Good.
So,
yeah.
Cool.
Understand an artist without studying their art? And how can you be passed off as an expert on this artist to be employed and centralized for your research on them? Consider the case of Joshua Min-soo Kim, a Pitchfork writer expressing disdain alongside White Stereo Gum writer Tom Brahan towards the BTS fans' buying campaign.
Stereo Gum are rendering the pop charts useless? What? Chart manipulation? Okay, calm down, bro. Calm down. So they cried at how beautiful the writing was. When I wrote a negative one, dozens of people sent death threats. Jesus. First off, we shouldn't be doing that. People have the right to their opinion. What do you got to say on here?
I mean,
you're checking it out.
No, from his perspective, I mean, yeah, if I were sending death threats, I'd probably feel this way too.
Yeah.
To be fair. I mean, obviously, we have two different perspectives on it.
Right.
But that's pretty wild, though. Chart manipulation, I think that's a thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
every artist has to do that at some point, right?
Didn't like Eminem call that out about the Grammys once?
He did. And
he's like, how come you didn't get invited to the Grammys or whatever? He's like, Grammys aren't an award show. He's like, it's a popularity contest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what he said. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but I think that's what he said.
Something similar to that.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, leave it to Eminem to say that, right?
Yeah, Eminem, dude.
Campaigns, opining that beyond chart manipulation, the thing that kills me is
ARMY just don't care about
Kim praised previous tunes like 2013's Like and 2014's
He went
That's
in.
Right, attributing their value to BTS's rapping being less corny, I guess, and the records also being less Western
Like Shinoda.
Of course, BTS's music, including the records he's named, has always been heavily influenced by Western music, particularly R&B, which is embedded in American pop DNA and sources from Black American musical traditions. So that comment at first comes off as bizarre. Further investigation into Kim's opinions sees a dissonance.
I'll let you read that. I know you like reading those. Yeah, my Shinoda. I think I made that joke the other day too.
On numerous levels with the choices made both with the Korean music he exalts and the Korean music he derides. He states in 2020 that K-pop has worsened because while always having been influenced by Western music, it began to kowtow to Western success. And yet K-pop has always been an export-focused music industry, and English records like Nobody by the Wonder Girls, The Boys by Girls' Generation, and CL's Lifted were all notable examples of many heavily promoted releases by K-pop artists targeting Western markets. If Kim feels BTS's aggro rap of the present has bogged their style down, I'm curious what he thought of the first 3 BTS Cypher records, tracks like Dope and We Are Bulletproof Part 2, etc., which were released in the first 2 and 3 years of their career, during the time period he glorifies, in which their aggressive rap stylings were actually there and not now. Wouldn't
it's like called out.
you prefer new records like Disease over old records like Second Grade, Mr. Kim? And if Kim truly feels Korean rap predominantly doesn't ask for a seat at the table and wishes to sound unique, I'm happy to hear his thoughts on Debo's Horse, Lil Cherry's whole catalog, J Park's Rock Nation deal, J Park's DNA remix, and
Debo's Horse.
This guy knows his stuff, man.
Debo's
You gotta give credit where it's due.
Yeah, he really does.
He knows his stuff. Yeah.
This is a big deep dive.
And 90% of Show Me the Money,
This is
among other
entertaining.
things.
Yeah.
Of course, skeptics like Kim and others will cling to the idea that BTS have changed since the days of Am I Wrong, and that the ways in which they've changed have rendered them uninteresting and ineffective.
Wow.
Tastes will vary, but the substance behind these arguments is
tastes will
often
vary.
highly
True.
debatable. For example, many will watch this video and say,
He's exhausted.
Done.
Those
He's
BTS
like, how
songs
long is this
were
thing?
from
We
before
almost done?
2017, but they're different now. They don't do socio-political commentary anymore.
that would be wrong. Though BTS's subject matter varies more now, and though songs like Butter and Dynamite opt for a fun-loving, light-hearted party experience rather than make any form of political statement, a look through their discography just in the past year shows they're still willing to write about social issues. This can be seen in records like Strange, Respect, and more. It could even be seen in subtle criticism of hustle culture rapped by J-Hope in Disease. Additionally, moments like member Jin's speech decrying music chart manipulation, also known as sajegi, robbing smaller artists of their ability to succeed on the charts, showcase how BTS are also using their platform outside of the music to make important points, as always. But it seems to me that no matter what success BTS achieves or what fans say about their music, many will opt to draw their own conclusions, often only seeing parts of a certain picture and claiming them to be the whole. Still, there are many who are willing to open their minds. If people like Berleezy or Tiny Meat Gang can champion BTS even a little bit, it's a sign that slowly...
Who's this guy?
No idea.
Why aren't we on this video?
No.
Like, come on, dude. Put me in your video.
Yeah, hey, listen. You know, I don't wake up at 9 a.m. for this. All right, I don't wake up at 9 a.m. at all. I wake up at 9:30. Put us on this video.
Dude, that's so late.
I know. No,
I wake up like 5:30.
Yeah.
Today I actually did, which was bad.
We got different lives, dog.
True.
Doors are
busier than
being
me.
opened
Yeah, I
more
work
and more
second
for
shift,
people to
so.
see what BTS themselves have done with
whack
their
some
art
schedule.
throughout their career, instead of hearing it from somebody else.
That chat is
Why
going
is
off.
this so important? Are these just the musings of a stan hellbent on making other people listen to his favorite artist? Yeah, partially. Forgive me for being enthusiastic. But aside from this, I would argue that recognizing BTS's artistry and their multi-dimensional impact could have a positive impact on the global music industry. We've already seen Rolling Stone take note of BTS's company, Hybe, offering shares of the company to artists and employees.
Dang.
That's
something
crazy.
that Western artists, both at the indie and mainstream levels, could also take interest in. In America, we are not used to seeing pop artists make risky political statements. Though many artists will take stands on social issues and demonstrate progressive ideals, it's rare to see pop artists deliberately try to tell fans to question the government, reject schooling pressure, and speak out against the rich and the older generation's urging to never give up. As a matter of fact, though we fancy ourselves much more progressive in the US than folks in Korea, we still often succumb to the same neoliberal mantra to work hard and follow your dreams.
I was like, wait, is that still up?
I was like, oh boy.
I thought that was being taken down.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that being taken down or something?
Didn't you say day one?
Yeah.
Why am I still paying $5 for eggs?
Without
Day
questioning
one.
whether those dreams are truly meaningful to us or merely forced on us by social pressure. Ultimately, BTS are not revolutionaries, just artists, but their actions throughout the years should be having
style
something
is
close
so
to a
cool.
revolutionary
Look at that.
impact
A full suit
on
and
how K-pop
shorts.
companies
Yeah.
and companies involved in K-pop operate. A song like Am I Wrong should be hailed by K-pop reporters and scholars as a legacy moment, a highly significant moment in K-pop history. To my mind, it should be seen as a clear defining moment in BTS establishing themselves as being in their own category, showing the potential for K-pop groups to be unique and to inspire political action in their fans. Instead, even many BTS fans don't know about the story behind it. Why? K-pop journalists, YouTubers, scholars, and subsequently fans consuming all of their content focus heavily on the K-pop tropes. You will always hear phrases like synchronized choreography. A phrase is useful.
I mean, we did. Like,
We did.
We didn't know anything about
We
BTS.
didn't know.
Right?
No.
And then after watching that, Veracity video, we learned quite a bit.
Mhm.
And then now we've done a lot of BTS, and every video we do, we learn something different.
Yeah.
And this brought us into, the wide form of K-pop. We're learning about that.
Yep.
It's cool. it's good to learn this stuff.
Learning
cooked
is
food
good for you.
or musical
Good for the
song,
soul.
So
as
it's
well
bacon.
as any other number of
Yum.
tropes surrounding dark and light concepts, heavy beats, and attractive performers. BTS fit these criteria, sure, and that's all that matters to many K-pop fans. That an idol group may have qualities.
Fans exaggerate. Exaggerate. You mean, not exaggerate.
Almsat. Nothing.
Almsat. Yeah, that's quite the comment.
That allow them to have their own unique legacy aside from K-pop, let alone bigger than K-pop, is treated as an idea generated by naive fan enthusiasm. And that way, are these kinds of K-pop analyses helpful towards K-pop artists at all? Well, that's not BTS's problem. Anyway,
True, it's
rant
not.
over. Thanks for watching. I want to shout out other
All right.
creators like Taffy, who did some voiceover work for this video.
Yes, credits.
Wow.
Hey, first things first, if you're still with us after 57 minutes,
That's
appreciate you.
insane.
Dude, wow. I feel like empowered to go home and like read up on a lot of these topics.
Yeah, please do.
The social economic status of South Korea.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
the
like,
whole spoon situation was
Oh man,
crazy.
and like even from like 2013 to whenever like all like the riots and the corruption in the school system.
Yeah, I didn't know about any of that.
Wow.
Like, obviously, we don't get to see most of what's happening around the world.
Right, because we're censored in America too.
But like, yeah, now I want to learn about it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Dude,
No,
wow. And like, I don't know about you, but I have a brand newfound respect for BTS.
yeah.
And
I mean,
just honestly, and K-pop in general, really.
you know how much I love K-pop.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
from the beginning, I knew I was gonna like BTS.
Yeah.
But now I love BTS.
Yeah, you do.
Like, I'm diving in hardcore.
Yeah.
Because like, I just really like it. I love what they represent. I love community, and so
Yeah.
ARMY.
Yeah.
I mean, and just their strategy is a bad word, but it's like what Hybe and Big Hit has done with BTS.
Yeah.
And bringing it to be more than just music, like to be that stand out and be like, we're gonna go against the norm. We're not gonna conform to the government.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do our own thing.
Yep.
And then everyone loves BTS.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool. You don't see that a lot. So, this was a fantastic video.
Yeah, this is cool.
It also
This
like
was really
gave us
cool.
some comedic stuff too.
It did, yeah. Like,
it was funny.
Yeah, the guy who did the deep first off knew his stuff, his
Yeah.
research.
Baby
Very good.
Gang Magazine.
Yeah, very, very awesome. Very entertaining, very informative.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. What a
Well-
cool video. Hey, was this a shout out video?
Sherbert. Patreon request.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
And we hope
Appreciate
you enjoy this long deep dive into BTS with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jump into our other videos. We have a
Yep,
couple other
check out
education
all of our
videos.
BTS stuff too. No, honestly, I'm really excited to rewatch our BTS stuff from the very first to now.
Yeah.
And see how our perspectives and our reactions have changed.
I mean,
now
yeah.
that we know what we know.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the bell.
Thank you.
Join us on Patreon for exciting BTS stuff like Carpool Karaoke.
Dude, that was a good video.
That was great.
That was very entertaining.
Jump to Patreon if you want to see that. Thank you all for being here.
Bye.
Appreciate you. Goodbye.
Yeah.